Good morning, retail traders. I'm Washboardjim, technical analysis of the sneaky snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. And I want to really give a very important lesson. This is a must-watch video for the next time we ever get to this situation. You'll be able to handle it. We had a strong pullback, and I was in the room shouting on YouTube, this one indicator that could change your whole life around. And we've hit it 2 or 3 times here in the last 3 or 4 years. And I just want to bring it up, tell you to watch it when we're having a good hard pullback, to get ready to take them calls and have a heck of a day like you did yesterday. Now, I was in the room all week this week, on YouTube and live in my room and in other rooms, telling people to watch that 200 EMA and that 200 SMA on the weekly and daily time frame for solid supports. I use it in multiple time frames as a swing trader, as a day trader, and as a scalper. So I can use it in any time frames. It's the 200 EMA and SMA for a buy signal to get into the trade. And the success rating on it is about 90 to 95%. If you're in tune with the market and you're in the now and you know exactly what's going on. You got to be in the now in situations like this, and you got to get excited when we have these huge pullbacks. If you're not, now if you're in stocks and you're just watching the stock market go down, you're going to be in tears. But if you trade like I do, one trade at a time, that's all it takes. One good trade a day, one trade at a time. You can do that 5 or 6 times a day in a scalp using multiple time frames. But I'm going to use the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA as an indicator for the reversal in the market. And I'm going to show you receipts that guarantee the reversals. And I've called this out every single time we come to these 200 SMA and EMA on the weekly and daily time frame. You got to keep that in mind. You can't forget it. Type it up on the wall. Jim says watch the 200 EMA and SMA in every chart, every time frame you're playing in. But to find a good reversal, use the weekly and the daily for swing trading. So I'm the Sneaky Snake Master, and we're going to get right to it here. The 200 SMA is a simple moving average. It is a key technical indicator representing the average closing price over the security over the last 200 days, used to determine long-term market trends. So that's when I'm talking about swinging. We were at a spot yesterday, and the Dow was up 1,200 points. Now, I called this out way before. I said if we hit this 200, and keep an eye on your favorite tickers, your favorite, the ones you really like, the ones that control the volume, ones that control the news cycle, and just that's always popping up on the news. And NVIDIA would be a great example, Tesla. But you need to be trading one trade at a time. And then when you hit the spot, you could jump into 3 or 4 trades and just hold them for a week or two. Unless we had a run like yesterday, I'd get in and out of them trades. We were up 1,200 points. So a price above the 200 SMA signals a long-term bullish trend, while the price below indicates a downtrend, a bearish, which I can retrace back up to the 200 and use that as a resistance level. Actually, the crucial support or resistance levels, as I just said, resistance level for traders and institutional investors. Key aspects of the 200 SMA: smooths out short-term volatility and reveal the underlying long-term market direction. Market indicator, known as the institutional line, it is a highly regarded identifying for difference between a minor pullback and a significant trend reversal. trend identifications. We have price stays above the 200 SMA, which is often sloping upward, or the price stays below the 200 SMA and the EMA, which is often a sloping downtrend. The 200 SMA or EMA acts, and an EMA is different than an SMA, but I've got that on there. It's a fast action. EMA is a fast action. So if the support wasn't granted to go to the 200, it's stopping at the 200 EMA. It might pop right back up and have a real fast, strong reversal. Supports and resistance levels. The 200 SMA acts as a floor, a support of an uptrend, or a ceiling, a resistance of a downtrend. Traders often look at the golden cross. That's when the 50 SMA crosses over the 200 SMA, which is a bullish signal, and a death cross when the 50 crosses down over the 200, which makes it a bearish signal called, or a bullish signal called the golden cross. So we got the death cross when the 50 crosses down below I've got to repeat that. The 50 SMA crosses up over the 200, it's called a golden cross. And when the 50 crosses down the 200, it's called a death cross. So we're going to go straight to charts. I'm going to point out, run through some fast ideas that have proven to be correct on the 200 SMA if you ever hit it on a downtrend. So we've got NVIDIA, how to use the 200 EMA and SMA to find supports for strong reversals. So here we are. This is NVIDIA, NVDA. I called this out. We had 3 black crows off the 200 EMA. We had one heck of a reversal Friday. That's just one. Now I'm going to go through some of these, and some might be below the 200, and you will run it up to the 200, or some will be above the 200, and we'll take that to the upside. Amazon, the 200 EMA, SMA right there. So we're in keyed for a reversal to the upside. On Amazon, if we hold this support, this is solid support. Let me go through this. 200 SMA, 200 SMA, 200 EMA, 200 SMA, reverse, 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 triple bottom, reverse. It didn't happen. It came back down and hit that 200 on, and that was a strong buy. Amazon. SPY. SPY is way above the 200. This thing can still correct to the 200 EMA for a strong buy. And we're looking at the daily. Tesla, 200 EMA. Bounced off the 200 EMA, and look at the bounce we had off Tesla yesterday. I called it out. The 200 EMA and the 200 SMA is essential to find the reversal in the market. I can't explain it any simpler than that. We could have more of a downtrend if something real catastrophic happened. If we got hit with like a 911, or we got it under the Biden administration when all them wars broke out within a half of a year, and we had shortages, we had supply chain issues. But Wall Street loves wars. Don't think it doesn't. That's an automatic reversal in the market. They will not say it, but they love death, because they're going to take advantage of the stocks that are in that sector. So Tesla, I have people asking me about Tesla because I've traded Tesla for over 16 years. And we had a double bottom off that 200 SMA or EMA, I forgot which one it was, and it bounced up from 387 all the way to 415. When the market opened, I said this is a buy. We had a double bottom off the 200 SMA. EMA. And look at there. We had a doji, a long leg doji. So you got to look at them candles that bounce up. That's a long leg doji. That's a bullish signal that we're going to have a breakout the next day. So I would have took that trade. Now, PLTR. Here's another good one. This one's way overbought, plus it's way oversold. We had 3 black crows, and we're under the 200 EMA and SMA. I would almost bet 100% that this thing bounces back up and hits that 200 EMA. And we have a long leg doji right here. So we'll see what happens there. I'd go long in that. Mister, here's another good one. We called off. This one's definitely at a support level, way below the 200s. And then we had that big reversal. We called this out in the room. Why? I'll show you. I went to the weekly time frame and I saw a triple bottom yesterday at $100. So I had a call for 104.41 to hit this target, and it pulled back and it hit that 104.41 off this double bottom right here, which turned it into a triple bottom. Google, way overbought, but we kept it in the 9, and we did have a nice little dip on this thing yesterday. So let's go to the daily and see if we see anything different. We bounced right off the 63 EMA on the daily time frame. So that was a strong buy too, off the 63, because the market was reversing. The market was reversing, and it don't look like it. You can see what it did here on the. So I called the symmetrical flag off that moving average, and we had a nice little bounce to a resistance level with a double top exit idea out of the trade. Double top, get the heck out of there, because it's going to pull back 90% of the time. It'll pull back, and then it will retrace to a triple top and break out. AMD, a lot of good bargains out there. I was just trying to kind of calm people down that don't know how to trade, to keep an eye on the 200 EMA and the 200 SMA. So we got AMD with 3 black crows. 3 black crows is 3 consecutive days with a downtrend. It's not the prettiest, but it bounced off the 200 EMA for a strong buy. Now I've got this watch list, and I've been trading this watch list forever. And I'm trading the same stocks every single day. Mostly the SPX and the SPY, because they're so easy to trade, and I can make so much money on the SPX. I make $2,000 a contract on the SPX on a day like yesterday. So we got Apple. AMD was a strong buy. So here we had Apple bounced off the 200 EMA on the daily. I'm telling you, we hit the 200, that was a scalping period, and then it finally broke out. The 200 right there. EMA, HIMS, way oversold. Huge pump. I got a support level on it at 2077. Why? Let's go to the weekly. Because we're at the 200 SMA on the weekly time frame. You see what I'm saying? We pulled back. That's a good correction. That's more than 100% correction. This thing was up at 73 bucks. Way overbought. Way overbought. I don't trade trades when they're at all-time highs. I wait for the pullback. I'm not a fool. I mean, I scream it out, man. I said, this thing's at an all-time high. Get the hell out of the stock. CNBC will pump it. They're trying to stretch it. So they pump these triple tops. I wouldn't doubt it if I remember them pumping hymns. Now you're down almost, what? You're down quite a bit. So this could be a very strong buy to go long into 2023. 2023, 2026. IWM. As long as it stays above the 9, we've respected the 21. That's on the weekly. So we want to take it and go to the daily. We want to look at both time frames. And we're bouncing off the 50 SMA, which is another strong indicator. 50 SMA, 50 SMA, 50 SMA, 50 SMA. So look at the previous move. Whatever moving average it hits the most is probably the moving average that it will bounce up off of. Note, I want you to look at the moving average that it hits, or I want you to look at the moving average that it represents the most and respects the most. And that could be a strong indicator to get into the trade. Regetta. This was pumped, way overbought. People were saying, buy it at the all-time high. And I'm saying, are you freaking kidding me? This thing was at 686 at the beginning of the year, and it's ran $58. This is a pump. Now you're getting close to support levels using resistance as the 200 SMA. And if we break the 50, we'll run up and hit that. But there's your death cross right there. Nope, not a death cross. That's a green one. So we're still, as long as that 50 SMA stays above it, you're still bullish in the trade. And this thing could run up and hit the 200 long. But it's in quantum computing. It's had a huge correction. It's still up a lot, up 100% or more from the low of the year, but it's not up $58 where they were pumping it to 100. PayPal. This is a bad company. They got a new CEO coming. We're at a support level. I could almost swing this trade. AVGO bounced off the 200 SMA. Look at that. Inverted hammer off the 200 EMA. Boom! Talked about a lot. This was at $414. It's down $100. Oracle. Way oversold. But, go to the weekly. We're at the 200 SMA. We bounced off the 200 EMA. We're at a buy signal. I'd go long in Oracle. I wouldn't think twice. And I'd hold it. Walmart. Huge bounce in trauma times. This thing's finally had its day. I've been in this stock since 1980. I run it up to $60 and pull it back down to 20. 1981. I still have it. And we're at 131.70. I've had this for a long time. Why do I have Walmart? Because I like shopping at Walmart. I like the customer service I get at Walmart. I walked in Walmart one time and this dude was hassling this chick. They were employees. He's a big dude. And I went up to him and I said, "Why don't you shut your fucking mouth? Don't you know how to respect women? Just keep your mouth shut and do your job." Everybody just looked at me. And one of the employees came up to me and said, That's the nicest words I've heard in almost 2 months. This guy's been nothing but a pain in my ass. I was mad. I mean, he just wouldn't shut up. I said, I'm here to buy some food. I don't want to listen to your hogwash, and treat that woman with respect. Cisco, another big pop on Cisco. Must have had some good news. So that's what? I ain't getting in that trade. Not at 85 bucks. I'm going to wait for it to pull back and hit my support. Here at the double triple top breakout. Off the 9. Coin. Here's another one off the 200. I called it out. Thing ran up yesterday on the weekly. So I take it to the daily. We have a double bottom on the daily, on the yearly time frame. So I have 2 reasons to take this trade. We bounced off the 200 on the weekly, and we have a double bottom on the yearly. That's a strong buy, no matter what. And I'll run this sucker back up to the 9 and maybe exit some of my, and if we break the 9, I'll run it up to 204. Affirm was in the news yesterday. It's definitely pulled back some. So I'm going to look at the weekly and see if I hit that 200 on the weekly. I didn't hit it here, but I want to pull up that 3-year weekly, and there we are. There we are. Affirm at the 200 EMA. We've got all kinds of indicators telling us that that is a resistance level, or that is a support level. Resistance, 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 support, support. That's called a pivot point. You use that 200 SMA and EMA as a pivot point. Meta. That's the weekly. Still way overbought on the weekly. Not saying I won't scalp it, day trade it. But if I look at it here, we bounced off the 50 SMA and we're trying to break the 200 EMA. If we do that, we're back at 685. They've been used as an indicator. You got the 50 SMA here as a resistance, and you got the 200 here as resistance. So if we break that resistance and we bust above, what did we break it above? We're at 661, so we're still bearish. Thing pulls back and hits the 50 at 656. I'd almost run it and swing it to the 200. Meta. JP Morgan bounced off the 200 EMA on the daily. We got CMG bouncing off the 50. All these are strong indicators of reversals. I'm not buying this stock at this all-time high. I'm going to wait for the pullback to the 9. So I think I'm going to put that moving average. I'm in my alert. Okay, what's going on? Now I've done it. There we go. I'm going to put that right above the 9 for a strong buy. And I'm going to get rid of this. This is way overbought. Way overbought from my experience. And that was talk about love. Where's love? Did it leave? So I think I got my point across. Shop. Way oversold. Let's look at the weekly. So I've got a support level down here waiting for me at $101 and off the 200. And I brought it up just above the 200 to hit this head and shoulders. You got your left shoulder and your right shoulder. So that's the head and shoulder alert off the 200 EMA. We do have 3 black crows, so this thing could easily reverse and try to break 129.09. So I'd put this on watch. Nike. Woke stock, kind of screwed. Investors, institutional investors are in this trade. It will break out eventually. We did break out of a fallen wedge. I don't trade it much anymore because it's woke and it just fucked up. Here's one with triple bottom off the 200 EMA, PANW. All these stocks have been bouncing off the 200 EMA and SMA. So if we come and retest it, that could be a solid support for a scalp. Snow, 200 SMA. We're about to break it. Pulls back maybe to a double bottom. Made a head and shoulders. You got your left shoulder, you got your head, inverse head and shoulders, and we touched down. And that would have been a strong buy for me to take that trade Friday. If that happened Friday. Let's go to the daily. Yeah. I would have definitely called that. I probably did call it out. Morgan Stanley off the 63. Banks are doing good under Trump. We have a head and shoulders resistance. Probably wouldn't take this trade and wait for a pullback, Oxy, unless it breaks out and we make truce with Iran. General Motors, there's no way in hell I'd trade this stock. It finally had its breakout. Their numbers, I don't believe in their books. Target, all-time high, got a new CEO. They did a bad mistake, went woke, tried to sell devil's merchandise in the store, and it had a huge crash. Target, I tease about all the time, but we did bounce off the 200 EMA for a strong buy. I'm telling you. CrowdStrike. Way oversold. You're going to be hearing shit in the news about this company. It should run up. We are in a hard money, which is a bullish indicator. Home Depot. I'd wait for the 200 SMA on the daily. And on the weekly, we bounced off the 200 SMA out of a snake. I called this out. Boom. 200 SMA on the weekly. Keep it on your charts. You'll have so many good trades. Don't buy stocks at all-time high. Wait for a pullback. Stock breaking out, do not get in the trade. Okay, we have a parabolic run on a day. We have one parabolic run in one day. But it's not at a support. I mean, I'm going to take a 50% pullback on that run. I'm going to set an alert with the fibs. And I'm going to set my alert right above that 50% pullback. And I'm going to see if I can get in that trade if it has great news. Kroger. Not much I can find on this one here for an indicator to get in the trade, but it's a bull flag. That's the only thing I really see right here, and it looks like to me like it could be a wedge if you take it out of context and hit that trend line to that. But that's a bull flag, and we hit the 50, so I'd wait for it to pull back to the 63 EMA. Got a double bottom coming up here on Lulu. We had a nice bounce on Lulu. And that's it. I know this video went a little bit long, but I'm telling you, when you recognize a good sell-off and we're coming up to the 200 EMA and SMA on a daily and weekly time frame, start alerting people, telling people we might be at a strong support. And that's it. I forgot to put that over there, my little sneaky snake. Follow me on YouTube. I'm live for I don't know how much longer. I'm thinking about taking some time off and here, not now, but soon, but you still have a chance to learn a little bit from me. I got all kinds of videos where you can watch on my technical analysis on how I developed a sneaky snake trading strategy. And if you watch this video and you've gone all the way through it, that means you want to learn and you want to become a better trader. That's all it is. If you can watch this and hit that like button, subscribe, watch me in the morning when I call out the trades, and then, you know, I also have a Discord room in the link. You can copy and get into that. I don't ask for any trouble in my room. I want it to be respectful. I want people that aren't learning in a nice way, kind of move them around, give them ideas. But any disrespect, you're automatically booted out of the room. And I don't care. You get one chance. So I try to keep it respectful, and that way we could have a smoother day and we concentrate on trading. I have a lot of fun. I play music. I joke around, but I'm never going to bash anybody or do anything like that. I'm trying here to help you out. So I'm in other rooms helping them out. I've been around for 21 years. I was one of the first to start a chat room back in 2007. And I've been in many. So I wish everybody the best. Just remember that 200 EMA and SMA, and it will really get you in a good spot. Have a great day. I'm Washboard Jim.